the cost of the procrastination is the life you could have lived. We'll heard it a million of times, but there is no productivity without being able to focus. So how to master focus? You have to have 2 plans. First plan is basic plan of action, what you want to take, what task you want to achieve after what task, or you can schedule your day, or you can just write a to-do list, or you just have to have a plan in general. Second plan is a little less common, but also not that complicated. And that second plan is called ready to resume plan. So basically, when you are doing something, for example, doing a research paper, and you know that you're not gonna finish that task in a matter of this day or in a matter of hours that you have available for this task. So before interrupting and switching to another task, take a few minutes to write down where to resume the task tomorrow or maybe in a few hours, what challenges are left, and what actions you have to postpone now but resume to later. So basically you're making it easier for yourself to make an action, do that research paper, or resume editing that video, or so on and so on and so on. And you start making that action without any hesitation, without any time wasted. Basically you're saving your time and you are reducing your stress levels. Gamma waves. Something that can help your mind to focus, to improve your memory, to help you study. Basically, they can help you a lot in any area of your life. Those waves have the highest frequency, which associated with more activity in the brain. This means that you're focusing, learning, memorizing, even thinking better than in any other states. There are 5 types of brain waves, and all of them are here. And the best ones for focus is actually depending on what you want to focus on. They're all here, so choose for yourself, choose whatever speaks to you, and you can literally find them on Spotify or YouTube. It's up to you. But the important thing you have to remember is that they only work when you are in headphones, because if you, for example, chose 40 hertz sounds, basically how it works is in one ear you have 100 hertz, for example, and in another you have 60. So that's how they create like 40 in here, or at least I think so. At least I've read it somewhere, so it makes sense, because when you listen it from just phone and laptop, it doesn't, it just floats in the air, it doesn't go from your ear to ear. So use any headphones, earbuds. And there were studies that confirmed that using 30 minutes of gamma waves a day, helping your focus, helping your memory, learning, and accelerating your brain, help it work better, your frontal lobe especially. Set time to work and rest intentionally. Doesn't matter which one do you choose. 20 minutes of work and 5 rest, 30 minutes of work and 5 rest, 60 minutes of work and 10 minutes rest, or 90 minutes of work and 20 minutes rest. It really depends on you, and it depends on what you're doing. If you're, for example, doing something creative or something that requires a lot of attention, it's not just answering emails that you can answer for 20 minutes, then go drink some tea and then come back, because it doesn't require that much of focus. When you need to edit video or write something that needs best of your attention, then of course it's better to work 90 minutes and 20 minutes rest. But avoid working more than 90 minutes, because 90 minutes is people's limit of focus work. So whenever you're doing something and you can feel and see that you are getting distracted, just take a break. But when you take a break, don't do anything that will add more things for your to-do list. For example, you decided to look through your email and you see that you have 10 plus of emails to answer, and you are getting very frustrated and overwhelmed by that feeling, and you have another task on your to-do list. It's just gonna overwhelm you. Or for example, if you decided to check social media and check emails, it's gonna add 2 more things on your to-do list, because you will get distracted by social media, or you have to answer your friend and you have to answer emails, and you will more likely to procrastinate, because the reason we procrastinate is not because we're lazy, it's just because we are avoiding a negative feeling, and you overwhelm yourself and you just go to finish that task for another 60 minutes or 20 minutes or 90 minutes overwhelmed, and you just, let's skip it, I don't want to do it, I feel bad, let's watch TV. So whatever you do on your break, do something that does not add additional task for your to-do list. It's as simple as that. Just turn on your favorite music and just dance for 5 minutes, or go out in nature if you like have 20 or 10 minutes or even 5. And for crying out loud, stop multitasking, because multitasking asks our brain to focus on two entirely different things. And the thing is, our brain can only focus on one thing at a time. There's no multitasking when it comes to our brain. Our brain is like, oh, you're watching this TV show? Okay, I'm watching this TV show. I'm not writing this paper or whatever. I'm just watching this TV show. There's no in between. When we multitask, we think that we're saving ourselves some time, but we are just paying not enough attention to any of the tasks we're doing, so we're putting in not sufficient enough effort in any of them. When instead we could just take 10 minutes for that task and 10 minutes for that task, or hour for that task and hour to that task. No. In between. And also people who think that they are the best at multitasking are usually the worst at it. But if you have to multitask, there's something that could help you multitask a little better, that can help your brain to focus on multiple things a bit better. That thing is meditation. Yes, you guessed it. I don't know if you actually guessed it, but yes, it is meditation. There have been a lot of talk about meditation in the last 5 years, I think, and there's a reason for it, because it's so beneficial in many areas of your life. It helps you focus when you're even not meditating. Like, you meditate and it helps you focus. There was a study where there were two groups of people. First group of people meditated for 3 months regularly. It wasn't like an hour meditation a day, no. It was just like 5-10 minutes a day. And then the second group who didn't meditate. And they were both shown 2 pictures. Not like groups, but people individually in those groups were shown 2 pictures. And the people who meditated regularly for 3 months were remembering details from first picture and the second picture, and they like showed them for a few seconds. The second group who didn't meditate, they barely remembered any detail from first picture. They didn't remember anything from second because they were so focused on the first one. They couldn't multitask. So meditation does help you to multitask. So if you just need to multitask, there is no like out of multitasking for you, then meditate. I know that this video in description has something like in how to focus on boring tasks, and there are 2 reasons why we find tasks boring. First one is because that task doesn't require much of our attention, which means that we have more cognitive resources than needed to do that task. So therefore it becomes boring for us. For example, you're struggling with these mundane things in life, such as chores. For example, washing dishes. So you can have like 40% of your attention on washing the dishes, and 60% of your attention is nothing. There's nothing. It's empty. So it's boring for you to wash dishes. But when you put second task, which will fill this 60% of your attention, or 50 or 40 or 70, it doesn't matter. You take that task and your attention is 100% full, because you're focusing on task A and on task B. And that task B could be listening to music, or turning on TV show or movie or podcast. Some very interesting podcasts, not really hard, but that will fill your attention. And there were studies about it. So basically they took 3 groups of people, and 3 of them were doing exactly the same boring exercises. And the first group was asked to follow a dot. It was moving from side to side, and they were asked to follow that dot. Second group, on the screen, they saw a little nature, a little sounds of nature, cute, nice. And the third group was asked to, while exercising, reading this semi-hard text. And so the third group of people who were asked to read the semi-hard text while exercising performed exercising 10% longer than those who were asked to follow the dot or enjoy nature and sounds and like view a nature. But those who were exercising while watching a nature on TV and listening to the sounds of birds and wind and so on, they are the ones who rated their experience the most enjoyable. Those who were reading that hard text didn't saw it as enjoyable, but those who were looking at nature, listening to those sounds, they found it enjoyable. But the group who was reading text was more likely to work out longer. I don't know why I just did that. Because their attention was fully incorporated. They were exercising and they were reading. Because when you follow a dot, it doesn't really take much of your attention. And when you're listening to the sound of nature and seeing nature, it doesn't really take that much of your attention either. And tangential immersion, which is what it's called when you have one task that doesn't require too much of your attention and then you add another task to it, so you get your attention full. And it only helps when you use most of your attention, but not too much of it. When you use too much of it, it doesn't help. For the people who were exercising, had simple exercises and were reading that story, yeah, it helped them. They were working out longer, but it didn't help those who were doing intensive exercises. And the second reason why we could find a task boring is because it doesn't align with our goals. It doesn't align with what we want to do, what we want to be, and it's just boring for us for those reasons. And in that case, what we can do is to make it fun, enjoyable. Because, well, we have power over what we do and we can add a little fun into it. Because in life, we have to do a lot of boring tasks, but it's not a bad thing because we have this knowledge and we can make that boring task into something fun and in future something we look forward to because we added a little something fun to that boring task. You can, for example, add something that you like doing already. For example, listen to your favorite music while replying to emails. If you have to make a lot of phone calls today, make it somewhere in the nature or in your favorite cafe or somewhere in a nice setting. If you're working on a tough report, just take a break every hour and go in the nature, drink some tea, drink some coffee, treat yourself. If you have a boring research you have to do, then after you're done with that boring research, give yourself a permission to go on an interesting research, down in a rabbit hole for 30 minutes. Whatever you like. Could be your guilty pleasure. Need to watch your favorite dishes? Turn on some TV shows, movies, a podcast you wanted to listen, audiobook, music, and just vibe. Start consistently to pair the boring tasks with something that you like, something that's fun for you, and you'll see, you will be looking forward to doing that boring task because it's not that boring for you because you have that one fun thing with that boring task. So it's not that boring anymore. Learning how to focus is an important part of being productive, but productivity is far more than being able to focus. If you struggle with productivity or just want to stop procrastinating, check out the video I made about it. Okay, that's all I have for you. See you. Bye. Love you.